Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are talking about Bitcoin dominance, the market conditions, and some altcoins. I believe crazy times are ahead. And when I mean crazy times, pretty much the translation is I believe the recoveries are here. I believe it'll be happening sooner than later. And I do believe the next few months are going to be some of the most exciting months when it comes to crypto. I genuinely believe that we are much closer for altcoin season to get triggered and to happen, right? I know a lot of us that bought, let's say, beginning of 2024, end of 2023, maybe midway through 2024, we thought, maybe it's going to happen that year, even though previous data did suggest that it would possibly happen in 2025, April, May time. We are on track in terms of everything. We're just slightly delayed in terms of pace. But when it comes to the actual blueprint itself, everything is still aligning the exact same way. Everything is still lining up the exact same way. It's just that the times may be different. So if we do get hypothetically a double pump, instead of the first pump being, April, May time, it actually might be summertime or early fall, right? Maybe like August to October. And then the second one could very likely be, depending on the context, either beginning of 2026 or maybe, March to May time in 2026 before everything officially crashes, right? So the blueprint itself, it's still on track, right? But it's just the timings are slightly different. It's slightly more delayed, but it makes sense because the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, you got to realize there's a lot more money involved, okay? Taking something we've seen historically, let's say Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, if we even go on a daily chart, we zoom all the way out, Bitcoin going from, let's just say, even all the way down here, where it went from 17, $15 to $250, that was much easier than going from what we are today. Okay. Because moving from, let's just say even $40 to 250, it takes way less money. And sure, Bitcoin was less popular at the time and, everything, but that still doesn't change the fact that it does take less capital and less money for to get those kind of gains, and not only get those kind of gains, but to get them in such a short amount of time. Okay. The thing is with cycles play out very quick in the beginning, right? So if there's a new coin, whether it's a meme coin or it's any type of coin, you will see that there will be a cycle within cycles, right? What we see on Bitcoin right now and everything that's playing out, this whole cycle might take a couple of years, right? The pumping up, the selling off, the bear season, the recovery, the accumulation here, then the recovery here, then the accumulation here before we go up and whatever before we top out. This whole process might take years. Even if you want to just say the cycle started, let's say somewhere back when we start to recover in late, early 2023, right? Let's just say somewhere here, right? This line here, right? Some people might count that as the beginning of a new cycle or whatever, but the reality is still the same, right? The reality is still the same, that it does take longer and longer each cycle. Now, historically, it has kind of taken similar amount of time, but it also has been getting pushed a little bit further each time. And I believe that's going to be the case all the time now, because like I said, something going from, let's just say, 1 million market cap to 10 million market cap, that cycle can play out within hours. Okay. But going from 10 million to 500 million market cap, that will take much longer. And then going from 500 million market cap to billions of market cap will take much longer. And the same thing, it's just the same thing, right? Going from what we are right now, which is what, a huge amount of market cap in terms of Bitcoin, 1.7 trillion, right? Going from that market cap to where we possibly might top for the end of the cycle, let's say double the amount, let's say roughly 3 to 3.5 trillion. Okay, let's just say that takes a lot more than what we initially were dealing with years ago. Okay, and that's just the reality, right? It's the same thing with gold, the same thing with forex pairs, same thing with everything, right? It's just same thing with stocks. It's just how it goes nowadays. So with that being said, right, we will be looking at the charts. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, we are pretty much going sideways. Ultimately, there is a little bit of bearish movement, but it is very, very slow and is it's very, very sideways, which means we're kind of ranging. So even though we are right now, we can see in terms of candle closes, making lower lows and lower highs. The thing is, I expect us to recover very, very quick and break to the upside the moment we fill up the gap for Bitcoin. We have a gap at roughly, $84,500. And once that gets filled up, I do believe there's no real reason to be chilling around these areas. If we do chill around the mid 80s to high 80s for Bitcoin, it's because we will be going sideways. We will continue to consolidate before we start recovering. The thing is, once we start recovering and we do recover, that is it. We're not going back until the cycle is finished or it is in the bear season. Okay, that is the reality. So now that is out the way, let's look at something like Bitcoin dominance. We can see Bitcoin dominance has been steadily going sideways overall. We did talk about how it's slowly going down, but it was in preparation of it going up higher. We do believe, the next move for Bitcoin dominance is going to be roughly that 64%, 64.30%. We probably will see a decent dip, roughly at 50% of this position. So whatever 50% of this top is to, let's just say, to this bottom, right? We could see Bitcoin dominance go back down another 2%, which means altcoins will probably have a decent pump. And then once again, we probably have a quick recovery, and then we will continue to the upside. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, right, the end goal at the end of the day, when we're talking about from purely A to Z, is that I believe we will be going between that 68 to 70% zone up here before we sell off, okay? Before we sell off. And, some people may believe this is, the area. I don't think so. There's no suggestion at this current moment. Yes, there is decent amount of orders here, but I do believe we will be breaking past them. Once we have them, there's decent amount of imbalance all the way up until, like I said, 69 to 70% zone. And from there, that's where I believe we will top out. Of course, we'll have to see and mark everything up, but I think that's very, very highly likely. Worst case scenario, maybe we go to 74, maybe we go, just to 69, maybe 68. But the point is the general area is somewhere going to be here. So we will go up. We'll probably have a break of structure, decent sell-off, and then we're probably gonna have something very, very, very similar to where we consolidate for a couple of weeks like we did here before we get a big, big crash. In terms of the big crashes, I do expect it at the minimum to go somewhere back down to 48%, but it is also very, very likely, ladies and gentlemen, that we could be dropping, if we go to look at this something like monthly, we could very well drop to levels of 40%. And dare I say, even if we sweep these levels, we may go back below 35%. So you can see how big this is, right? How big the drop is. And I am super, super excited for it. I am really, really, really excited for this. A good comparison could be something like on gold, where I've seen it historically kind of, go up very, very slowly, right? Gold, this is obviously on the monthly candle, but gold goes up very, very, very slowly, kind of like Bitcoin dominance. Things kind of go sideways and then they just kind of crash quickly, right? I've seen that type of pattern play out before. And it's the same thing for Bitcoin dominance, just obviously not on a monthly scale, but we can see price action, price action, price action. And then, ladies and gentlemen, once things dump, they will dump extremely quick. So you have to stay prepared, okay? That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.